ACDP.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, the ACDP rises in support of this report. One of the main objectives were to address those customary marriages that were entered into before the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act. And this as a result of the two Constitutional Court judgments referred to by previous speakers, where the concern was addressed that Section 7(1) created a situation where women prior to the Act, customary marriages had no rights of ownership, property ownership, and control became the sole purview of the husband. And so clearly this needed to be addressed. And whilst we appreciate the concerns from the DA about the other definitions, these amendments are in terms of the Constitutional Court, and therefore it is important for us to consider the fact that the Constitutional Court gave an interim relief, and they gave Parliament until 30th of November 2019 to pass the additional amendments. At our failure to do that, that remedial or the interim order then became final, which granted relief to women in customary marriages prior to the Act. So the concern from our side is twofold. Firstly, these amendments deal exclusively with customary marriages, and it is regrettable that to date, as the Honourable Member from the IFP said, that the religious Hindu and Muslim marriages are still not recognised, and this should be remedied as far as possible, as soon as possible. The second issue, of course, relates to the fact that this amendment bill took so long to be finalised by Parliament. Now, the Department of Justice made an application for the extension of the time period granted by the court, and that, interestingly enough, was rejected by the Constitutional Court. The court noted that the reasons furnished for Parliament's failure to remedy the defect in the legislation were not satisfactory. But there were obviously reasons for this, and the court observed that extending the period of suspension would serve no useful purpose, as the interim order had become final, but that Parliament was obviously free to continue to process the bill regardless of whether there was an extension or not. So clearly, it's very important for Parliament to look at these deadlines very carefully, and we in the ACDP welcome the fact that this has been dealt with at Speaker's level, at Deputy Speaker's level, in the Programming Committee, and there's now a mechanism in place to ensure that we as Parliament adhere to Constitutional Court deadlines. The ACDP supports this report. I thank you.